Did you know that this episode that you chose was I think the only one actually written by Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant?
I did
Oh,
not know
I
that.
thought maybe you
No.
did that on purpose.
There's wow. No.
Yeah, little tidbit from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Um, so the Convict is the ninth episode of the third season of the American comedy television series. Michael Scott learns that black employee Martin Nash is a former criminal and tells the entire office. During this time, in a misguided effort to avoid issues of stereotyping and racism, Michael asks the employees to name a white person that they trust, and he will name a black person he trusts even more. The name Jesus pops up, and Michael replies with Apollo Creed. Meanwhile, Jim Halper encourages Andy Bernard to pursue Pam Beasley and intentionally gives him information about her strong dislikes. Later, Andy strums Rainbow Connection on his banjo while singing falsetto. He also does some pig Latin in there, right?
Yep.
Pam smiles politely and silently shares the joke with Jim. Martin tells the others he was incarcerated for insider trading and that he enjoys certain perks of prison, including outside time and art classes. Pam comments that prison sounds better than their current work situation. Attempting to convince his employees that the office is better than prison, Michael sends everyone to, quote, outside time in the bitter cold. He then calls a meeting in which he adopts the persona of Prison Mike, who attempts to persuade the workers to know why prison is much worse than they think. Martin comments that Michael's performance did not remind him of his time in prison. This further infuriates Michael, who then locks all of the staff inside the conference room in order to have his coworkers released. Toby Flenderson tells Michael, he's the HR guy, tells Michael the staff is simply teasing him. After letting the agitator workers go, a relieved Michael relents, but Martin chooses to quit. Okay. Why did you pick this episode?
Yeah, well, one time I said I was gonna dress up as Prison Mike and do videos on my channel. So
Really?
that's why I chose it. Yeah. And well, so I started saying that it's really tough love with Steve. So I have my own character now, and so that's why I chose the episode.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
I went into a little bit deeper meaning after a while. I watched it. I started to overthink probably, but
Yeah. Right.
you were like, I just love that episode.
Yeah,
Um,
I just loved it.
well, I have some comments. I cannot stand the Jim/Karen storyline, and I think I might have even blocked it out, like from when I watched it, how many years ago. Um, and then the Jim Toby Pam storyline is also very funny. Um, Kevin kills me. Like I just have to comment. Kevin kills me.
Right.
They're all amazing actors. Dwight, with the money hanging out of his pocket, bending over,
Head of his
trying to.
pocket. Right. Yeah.
um, and it sounds like apparently Kevin does insider trading. I don't know how he does that at the paper
Yeah.
company, but um, also too, I just noticed like the TV that Mike put on and was like trying to see if it was as good as the one in prison was like really crappy looking. Like I don't look like
Yeah.
an old VHS tape was playing or something. Um, Also, it was great. Like Prison Mike references the Dementors, which was apparently the worst thing about prison, in his
Prison, right.
opinion. Yeah. And then how he tried to like change his the way he spoke, his accent, which I'm a speech pathologist, so it was just funny. He was like,
Oh.
"Thanks," and then he goes, "Tanks," and I just thought it was ironic because he hates Toby so much, but Toby was the one who convinced Michael to let them out of the conference room. Um, so do you want to point out any like? I know it sounds like you really liked the Prison Mike character. Who's your favorite character on The Office?
Yeah, Dwight. I would
Yeah,
say overall, I think Dwight
do-
is definitely my favorite out of everybody.
I was talking about it to my husband because I was like, "Oh my god, I haven't watched this in so long," and I was like, "Steve Carell is so good," and then I
Yeah,
was like,
really
"But
good.
Dwight is like." I think I said
Whole
Dwight to
other
him first.
level.
I said I think Dwight is my favorite, and I'm like, "Well, I don't know." And my husband's like, "They're all like so good. Like you need all of them. You know, they're an ensemble cast, I guess." But all right, what I was going to ask you. Who do you relate to any of them?
Um,
If you
I
say
don't know.
Dwight,
Just Prison Mike.
okay, Prison Mike. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. I don't grow beats like Dwight, so I can't really be like Dwight.
yeah. Well, there's also other weird stuff about Dwight that I hope you don't
Well,
relate.
everything else is true about me except for the beats.
Okay. Oh, okay. Great.
So I do all the other Dwight stuff. Everything that Dwight does, I do.
Well, he brought in like a
Except the beats.
dead goose at the episode after this.
Yeah, that wouldn't see, that wouldn't bother me either.
But would you do that?
Well, he didn't the dead goose he found, or
Yeah.
didn't he, or he said he
I think
accidentally
he
hit it
hit
with his
it or
car,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Or he found it.
Quote
So,
unquote.
if I found one, it wouldn't
Okay.
be that big of a deal.
Okay. So what is it about Prison Mike? You just think it was just really funny, or
Yeah, I thought it was like funny. I just like how Michael is always like getting into those like situations where he's trying to bring everyone together,
Mhm.
but he does like he tries too hard,
Yes.
and I think that's why I relate to it.
Okay. So you want to hear my deeper meaning part, which I thought.
Yeah, I really
So are
am
you ready for
interested.
this? Okay. So
Yeah.
I think many people do feel like their jobs are
Mm.
prison or they're trapped, and I think that that's more and more nowadays. And I hope that a lot of people are starting to realize it doesn't have to be that way, And it just The Office is hysterical, but part of it was like, this is almost a little depressing. Like, it's just thinking about, really, does anybody work barely at all? I mean, and there's definitely true offices like that. Have you worked in an office?
I've never worked in an office like that. I almost was in insurance, but I didn't get hired there,
Oh,
luckily.
that's
So
see, see,
yeah.
yeah.